Welcome to the 6th episode of Vamonos by Caminos. In this episode, we'll be going thrift shopping during our Passion for Fashion segment. We will also get to know Viviana of Vivi's Clay Creations, handmade jewelry for all. In our book club segment, a poignant discussion of the piece Floaters by Martín Espada. And finally, we have the return of Art Club with a very interesting tutorial on watercolors. So stick around, get cozy, y vámonos!
Hey guys, we have a new segment in Caminos called Cooking with Steve. I will be your host, and we're going to have this amazing adventure of learning recipes, sweets, and spices. We're going to be learning many things from all around the Latino community, and I'm so excited. I'm really down to earth on cooking. You know, cooking is one of my biggest passions, and I can't wait for you guys to be on this amazing journey we have, you and me.
Hola! My name is Coral, and I'm your co-host for Caminos Passion for Fashion. And today I'm in downtown Austin, and I'm going to be taking you thrift shopping with me. Thrift shopping is honestly the best. It's way better than, spending your money out on name brand stores, that, overprice their things, and you can find brands that are in stores at thrift shops for better prices. It's also healthy for the environment because you are reusing clothing and not sending them to landfills, which is very good. So I'm going to take you to my next thrift shop and show you my techniques and how I like to thrift shop. So, I'm officially home from thrift shopping today, and I'm going to show you everything I got. I got 4 things today, and I'm going to show you those 4 things, and then I'm going to show you a couple finds that I have found in the past 2 weeks at thrift shops. So, I'll show you what I got today and what else I've found at thrift shops in the past 2 weeks. Alright, first find is this Champion sweater. Champion is one of my favorite brands, and it's just a nice little sweater. It's a large. I love big sweaters because it's like I can wear them with sweatpants, and sweaters are basically all I wear. So I really like this. You can even add a white collared top, come out of the neck. So yeah, this was a really good find. A lot of their stores don't really have Champion, which made me really happy to find this. So this is my first buy of the day. Second buy of the day, it's another sweater, but it's a Nike vintage sweater. Very cute. Like I said, I love sweaters, and especially that are oversized, that I can just, cuddle up in and watch movies and stuff like that. Super cute and very comfortable. So yeah. Alright. Third buy of the day, it's this really cute, long sleeve shirt. It says hunting on it. I just thought it was really cute. The hunting thing, I don't know, it has really just cool, patterns and stuff like that. And, it's winter time when it's, in the 50s, this would be really nice to wear because, you know, I get hot very easily. So it's very nice, and I think it's a very cool color. I could just go with any, like, you know, denim, stuff like that. So really like this. This was my cheapest buy of the day. 10 out of 10. Last buy of the day. Don't ask me why, but I just love this shirt. It was at a thrift store, but not for a thrift store price. It's like Alice in Wonderland. I don't know, I just saw it and it called my vibes out. I've never heard an inanimate object call my name like this one. And I felt like I just had to buy it. I want to like tuck it in right here and, you know, just tuck it out like that, leave it like that. Yeah, it's really cute. I really like it. So those are my 4 items of today. And then I'm just gonna do a little compilation of, you know, some items that I've found like in the last 2 weeks to a month at thrift stores. So. Yeah, that was me thrifting today. Those are all the things I got. Cookie. Really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I really encourage you to go thrifting and try it out because I think it's way better than normal shopping, because it's like normal shopping, anyone can go to that store and get that. But when you go thrifting, it's kind of like one of a kind, and you know, your outfits are more rare. So you're more original. And who wouldn't want to be original? I would want to be original. So, thank you for watching!
Hi. Hi, my name is Viviana. I'm the creator of Vivi's Clay. I just love making jewelry and just making stuff I love. So when I create a new product, I like to talk to people who are already following me on my Instagram account. I like to know what they would want and give to the people. And I mostly create stuff that I would personally wear and that other people would love to be created. I just sketch something, get out of clay, try different styles, different hooks, different materials, release the product, and get feedback from the customers on Etsy, on Instagram, and just close friends.
How would you describe your experience with the quarantine in one word, and why?
I would say that it was very difficult at first. It was a major change, but I've learned to overcome and adapt like everyone else has.
So, do you think that the quarantine has disproportionately impacted different people? And if so, why?
I think it has, especially small artists and local artists in Austin right now. A lot of artists are very reliant on those farmers market and stuff like that. So a lot of people have create new shop online.
What inspired you to start your business, especially during a time like now?
I used to make jewelry with my mom when I was very young. We had a bunch of supplies that were just sitting there. And I've always been interested in like creating my own business, especially since my parents both have their own businesses. I look up to them for that. I think it's very lenient, like you're your own boss, you can create whatever you want. I don't feel so dependent on big corporations to make stuff that I like when I can make it myself. And I just think it's like the most amazing thing ever.
That's inspiring. And how connected do you feel to the community through technology?
I feel very connected. I frequently do polls with everyone on my Instagram. I love to talk to people. My DMs are always open. Even on my Etsy, I always add my Instagram. So if people have questions, concerns, or just are curious about like my business, I'll be able to like help them, talk to them. And I also do requests. So if something wants something special for someone, like their loved one, I can do that.
What is something you missed most from before the quarantine?
I really just miss being able to hang out with my friends frequently, and just being able like to see like my loved ones. I miss going to school actually. I prefer school in person way over online.
Yeah, I find myself missing like in-person classes like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I didn't want to go to school, by the end of the day, I would be happy about something, you know? Even if I had a stressful day. And now it's like I don't really have that because a lot of that came from like my teachers and my friends and, you know, and that's a lot of it's just not really there through technology. But yeah.
I miss that so much.
Yeah. So how do you think people have changed because of this quarantine? And is it a bad thing?
I guess it would be on the eye of the beholder. I'm more grateful now about what I had before. I'm just grateful about the people I have around me right now and how my professors have been very understanding about what's been going on right now. And I don't feel alone. Like I feel more united, like with other people, because we're all on the same boat, especially like in the United States right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I would say that we feel very united. I feel like if we didn't have the quarantine or anything like that, I wouldn't feel like the need to create my own stuff, especially since like a lot of people have been affected financially. A lot of people have been working very hard this year. A lot of opportunities have been lost, but everything's gonna be okay, and a lot of things happen for a reason. And we should just have to be very positive and optimistic about it. I mean, we can't really change the virus. We can't just tell it to stop. We just have to try our best and persevere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It was very nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Hello, welcome to the Literary Collective's book club.
Yes. Hi,
Yay.
I'm Ethan.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hi, I'm Itzel.
Hi, I'm Kiona.
I'm Nell.
And we're very happy to have you for our second book club, if we can ever get started with this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's good. Okay. Today we're going to be reading Floaters by Martín Espada, and we're really excited to read it. So just get comfy and we'll get started soon.
Have y'all ever seen floaters this clean? I'm not trying to be an ass, but I've never seen floaters like this. Could this be another edited photo? We've all seen the Dems and the liberal parties do some pretty sick things. Anonymous post, I'm 1015, Border Patrol Facebook group.
Like a beer bottle thrown into the river by a boy too drunk to cry. Like the shard of styrofoam cup drained of coffee brown as the river, like the plank of a fishing boat, broken in half by the river. The dead float, and the dead have a name, floaters, say the men of the Border Patrol, keeping watch all night by the river. Hearts pumping, coffee as they say the word floaters, soft as a bubble, hard as a shoe as it nudges the body, to see if it breathes, to see if it moans, to see if it sits up and speaks. And the dead have names, a feast day parade of names, names that dress all in red, names that twirl skirts, names that blow whistles, names that shake rattles, names that sing in praise of the saints. Say Oscar Alberto Martinez Ramirez, say Angie Valeria Martinez Avalos. See how they rise off the tongue, the calling of bird to bird somewhere in the trees above our heads, trilling in the dark heart of the leaves. Say what we know of them, now they are dead. Oscar slapped dough for pizza with oven-blistered fingers. Daughter Valeria sang, banging a toy guitar. He slipped free of the apron he wore in the blast of the oven. sold the motorcycle he would kick till it sputtered to life, counted off pesos for the journey across the river and the last of his 25 years and the last of her 23 months. There is another name that beats its wings in the hearts of trees. Say Tanya Vanessa Avalos, Oscar's wife and Valeria's mother, the witness stumbling along the river. Now their names rise off her tongue. Say Oscar y Valeria. He swam from Matamoros across to Brownsville. The girl slug around his neck stood her in the weeds on the Texas side of the river, swore to return with her mother in hand, turning his back as fathers do would later say. I turned around and she was gone. In the time it takes for a bird to hop from branch to branch, Valeria jumped in the river after her father. Maybe he called out her name as he swept her up from the river. Maybe the river drowned out his voice as the water swept them away. Tanya called out the names of the saints, but the saints drowsed in the stupor of birds in the dark. Their cages covered with blankets, the men on patrol would never hear their pleas for asylum. Watching for floaters, hearts pumping coffee all night on the Texas side of the river.
No one, they say, has ever seen floaters so clean. Oscar's black shirt yanked up to his armpits, Valeria's arm slung around her father's neck even after the light left her eyes. Both face down in the weeds. Back on the Mexican side of the river, another edited photo. See how her head disappears in his shirt, the waterlogged diaper bunched in her pants, the blue of the blue cans. The radio warned us about the crisis actors we see at one school shooting after another. The man called Oscar will breathe, sit up, speak, tug the black shirt over his head, shower off the mud, and shake hands with the photographer. Yet the floaters did not float down the Rio Grande like Olympians, showing off the backstroke. Nor did their souls float up to Dallas, land of rumored jobs and president shot in the head as he waved from his motorcade. No bubbles rose from their breath in the mud, light as the iridescent circles of soap that would fascinate a 2-year-old. And the dead still have names that sing in praise of the saints, names that flower in blossoms of white. A cortege, of names dressed in all black, trailing the coffins in the cemetery. Carve their names in headlines and gravestones that they would never know in the kitchens of the cacophonous world. Enter their names in the book of names. Say Oscar Alberto Martinez Ramirez. Say Angie Valeria Martinez Avalos. Bury them in a corner of the cemetery named for the Saint Archbishop of the Poor, shot in the heart saying mass, bullets brought by the taxes I paid when I worked as a bouncer and fractured my hand 40 years ago. And bumper stickers read El Salvador is Spanish for Vietnam. When the last bubble of breath escapes the body, may the men who speak of floaters, who have never seen floaters as clean, float through the clouds to the heavens, where they paddle the air as they wait for the saint who flips through the keys on his ring like a drowsy janitor, till he fingers the key that returns the lock and shuts the gate on their babble-tongued faces, and they plunge back to earth, a shower of hailstones pelting the river, the Mexican side of the river.
I want to cry. What was? I didn't. Oh.
I hesitated in the middle because I realized, I guess I read it, but I guess I really didn't put meaning into it until right now. And I wanted to stop reading and cry.
Yeah.
Wait, so were they like crossing the rivers and the floaters were people who were like floating in the
Who
river?
died in the river crossing it.
Yeah, there are people that like die in crossing.
Now I don't like my question.
So this one talks about basically it's like a father and his daughter, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It was
were found dead.
Did the wife survive, and that's why she could keep saying their names or something?
I guess so.
Or
like they were, yeah. The picture, because it's a pretty famous picture, it's just of them, and I think it was maybe last year it was released.
Oh, it's an actual picture.
Yeah.
We can show it maybe.
There is.
There's a picture. I don't know if we should show it because it's pretty traumatic. It's just Valeria and
Isn't this like someone saying their name, like someone remembering their story, and they made a poem about it?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I'd like to remember them. I guess we can talk more about that, but I think Amy, do you want to ask your question or rephrase it or ask it?
I want to rephrase it. I kind of want to change it.
If you want, who was going after you?
Actually, I can think of it right now, but I don't know if y'all want me to do it right now. Can I just give y'all a heads up on what it says, or like, do I just say it straight up?
Say it. Yeah, you can say it. Okay. Okay.
Knowing how the poem was written and how people have sacrificed a lot to cross the river, does this make you feel, well, like, do you think America should appreciate more like immigrants having like to go through such a dangerous path just to come to here.
110%. Literally,
Like,
I was with someone in my family. I was like, dang, because I like whenever they get here, I never really think about like the journey because they're always like they tell the stories, but it doesn't feel like real, right? Because like you're not the one, you're not the one who like actually went through it. Because and like when you're talking conversation, people don't describe things like that, like with that much image, and so like that being described to me was like what, like what?
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to cry. Anyway, next person.
Yeah, it's sort of like that's something so powerful. Like we never really do think of the actual like miles walked of the dangerous, because it's a dangerous, walking anywhere that long is dangerous, and it's a lot, and it's just, I think we should appreciate that more because it's something to be, I don't know, the resilience to like, I don't know, it's just is really powerful. I think about that. Like for instance, like my abuela's, her father and her mother like were crossed from like Guanajuato, which is in the very south of Mexico, right? And they were in like, and so I just imagined that like 1,000 miles, and it was, I don't know, and just the walking, and then like, I don't know, and I think she was born maybe along the journey, or I don't know, but it's just really, crazy to, I don't know, just think about that. We come from like really powerful, strong people, and we should appreciate that more.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think of immigrants as like greedy. Oh, they want to come to America or any like place to get more money, but they don't realize how hard they have to work to come here and how much they risk to come here. No one comes here just to come here. Like they're facing poverty or like violence, and most of the time immigrants come because it's their only choice. And I think this like poem highlights how hard it is to come.
It's like alienation that we were talking about with our Instagram post.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and just to think you make that journey, and you like, and then for you to be either turned away, or you to be separated from your children, or any of those things that have been happening, and that have happened since for the like century, that it's just really like, it's very angering. It makes you angry. It makes you think like, why? Why? How?
Yeah, and I also think it's like crazy because people like they think crossing the border is like, oh, just like going up, but like, how they said they want to build a wall, you know what I mean, or like how they did. They think it's just crossing that and then they're good. Like, no, like it's like maybe they have come, like maybe they said they made it to the United States, but like even then it's still like they still have to get jobs, they still have to make up their life. Like they have nothing here. Like they're not coming home. They're not coming here for something. They have nothing.
Yeah, it's
and once they do come here, they can't even vote, or like they can't do so many things because they're considered like illegal.
Exactly, like they basically lose a lot. They basically lose a lot of their rights.
It's so weird to think of a person as illegal, though. Like that whole concept, like it shouldn't make sense to think of people as illegal.
That's true, because it's just a person. Like, what about them makes them illegal?
For sure.
And honestly, they like only like people who don't respect them call them illegals.
And it's a way to like disenfranchise and like discriminate against.
Or calling them aliens too. It's like, oh, they're not from another planet. They're from another country.
Yeah. Or even like if you're like, you're still seen that way, even if you're like from this country, like you're still seen as like, your culture is seen as like other, it's not seen as,
It's the battle of association.
Yeah.
People associate cultures with different meanings. And in this case, that culture just seems to mean alien, which is a terrible association.
Yeah.
How do you think the author was feeling when he wrote this, and how did it make you feel after reading it? Like, what emotions came to your head? What connections?
Angry. I think it was like angry, or like, I don't know. If I was writing that, I'd be like crying. I don't know. I'd be crying while writing that.
I'd agree with anger, but going off of that, I'd say it would be like, do y'all know the difference between like wet and dry anger?
Yeah.
Dry anger is just like you're mad, basically. Wet anger, it's like a mix of anger and sadness. So it's like you want to cry, but you're also like so upset and taken over by this that it's like, all these sorts of things. So I describe this definitely as like a wet anger kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I agree, and I think that how this makes me feel the poem is very like I guess the same emotion. Like the author does the writer does a really good job of like, I guess, giving you the emotion that they're feeling, right? It also feels very like the line like a beer bottle thrown into the river by a boy too drunk to cry. It's very like it feels very it just feels very like almost like a resignation almost, or like something that feels, it's like you're tired, like it's like exhausted because of this is like how, you know. I don't know if anybody wants to talk more about that, but
I would say like it's more upsetting knowing that the way he wrote it, he knew what the things that were happening. He found a way to describe everything properly. Like some people just describe it as like, oh, it's like something to brush off. You know what I mean? Like some people say like, oh, crossing is nothing. Like he made it seem like it is a big deal. You lose people along the way. There's always time. There's always going to be a moment when they find someone in the river or they don't make it across. I don't know if y'all ever read this article, but I remember last year we read an article about how they found at least 200 bodies that were unclaimed. Some were skeletons and some were like rotting still, and they had said how most of them were unclaimed. Why? Because they were claiming them in the U.S. They put them in the U.S. like it's in U.S. property, and some of them weren't even claimed. And then you start to realize that it's like those people just came by themselves, I'm assuming, with no family, with no one to like, for them to have a better for them to have a life for their future family, and they never made it across. Like it's just heartbreaking knowing that there's people that risk everything for them to lose it all.
And he does a really good job of like putting you in the shoes of someone who like knows what they're talking about.
I think it's interesting like the contrasting images of like starting it out with like the border patrol like agents, and then and then you go like hard as a shoe, is it not just the body? Like there's the two perspectives we get, and it's sort of interesting how you see that it's very I don't know, it just points out like the inhumanity, frankly, of some, I'm not going to generalize all, but like some border patrol agents that like do have like they don't see, you know, people crossing as human. It's like, you know, less than even, I don't know, it's just very like
the name floaters instead of like people that are dead.
Yeah, like dissociating that. Yeah,
By saying the names of all of the people that died, it even made it more personal. So you're like, whoa. Yeah. While it was like contrasting messages, while the border patrols were like floaters, it started naming them by name, and it made like their deaths seem more real because they were actual people.
Yeah, and they had like Tanya, Vanessa, Avalos. That's their.
They had like families, daughters,
and they all stand out because they're italicized. My question was about, who do y'all think is like the main audience of this piece? We also got 10 minutes left.
I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. Does anybody have?
Like, because I don't know who he would. I don't know if he's talking to like a group of people specifically, or if it's like just an open-ended thing. And I just wanted to know what y'all thought.
I feel like it's open-ended. Like it's not addressed to the border agents or like the people going specifically. I feel like it's addressed to like kind of everyone, just to tell them like what's going on and the experiences.
I think it's like more of a way of like an awareness, like this is what like they go through, like so don't give them. That's like saying like don't give them such a hard time for like.
I think it might
sacrificing
be like,
a lot.
The audience might be like the American public in general, maybe because it feels most relevant to like, you know. But yeah,
I think like more like we need like awareness and like a memorial thing, you know, because it wasn't like it's just like telling your story and like. Yeah.
I think it's really powerful. Like say Oscar, you know, that was really powerful. Like it's sort of like it is like memorializing them in a way, you know, because I think how the news covered it, if I'm like they sort of covered it like brushed it off. I think Amy said maybe it might have said like brush it off or like, you know, this, and I think that's how the news sort of portrayed it, you know. And so I think but it's a big, and they would show the pictures and like, okay, like, but I think it's such a, it's a really big thing, it's a really, I don't know, I think that we should think more about.
I also think they use their situation for like pop news, like just to like get more attention. Like they didn't use it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, I think it's like very disrespectful for two people to pass away and then use it for news. Like, oh my God, this is like exciting. These people died just to come here. Like,
yeah. See, and that's how they did it. And I think that this poem sort of, it sort of takes back that narrative. So in the interest of time, let's move on to, I guess, my question. So I guess my question was, how does Espada's use of the post, of the Border Patrol agent post, how does that like affect the message of the poem or sort of the perspective of the poem? Like he starts it with that, and then he uses their language, like he says, I think Kiana was highlighting it, like floaters, and he uses their like, never as clean, like he uses that like language throughout the poem. So how does that affect the message?
I feel like, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that, like, thinking back to it, because I didn't really like get it at first, because I didn't really understand what floaters meant. But then thinking back to how it was like the Border Patrol agents talking about like floaters and how they were clean as if they're like objects, I was like, dang, that's kind of like the dehumanizing thing again. Like that's disrespectful on so many levels.
Yeah, like as if the poem's like humanizing them, and then it's contrasting with the dehumanizing way. But yeah, okay, Kiana, you read?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the first time you read it, before you read the piece, you kind of don't understand it until you go back and you read it again, and you're like, wait a second, this literally goes along with like everything else really well, and you get like a better understanding, I guess. So with this one, I'd say you have to read it like twice over before you can really understand and catch like everything that he's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like having it read out loud kind of helped, because when I read it in my head, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's a very dense poem for sure. We could talk a lot about all the different things, yeah.
You can go ahead.
Are there any like specific parts that like really, really like stood out to anybody? Because like personally, there was a sentence that says, and the dead have names, a feast day parade of names, names that dress all in red, names that twirl skirts, names that blow whistles, names that shake rattles, that sing in praise of the saints. And then later on, he talks about names dressed in black. Like, I don't know if anybody else caught that. Because he's talking about how they're all festive when they're dressed in red, but then I'll try to find it, but when he says like dressed in black, and then it left at that.
It sort of reminds me of like the Dia de los Muertos, like the parade, like when you're all like dressed out and like sort of like like it's contrasting that. Even like
I think of Baile Folklorico when I heard twirling.
Oh yeah, no, but I think it's like maybe pointing out the joy, about it, and then also like the profound grief that comes with, Yeah.
Like it was sort of humanizing their life and then like describing them dead, which wasn't necessarily unhumanizing them. It was just like it went from all this life and happiness to just like black death.
Yeah, and then like for me, the one that stood out the most for me, it was in the time it takes for a bird to hop from branch to branch. Valeria jumped in the river after her father. Maybe he called her out. Maybe he called out her name as he swept her up from the river. Maybe the river drowned out his voice as the water swept them away.
Oh my God.
Like, you just process, like, oh, like, they lost each other in the river. Like, they thought they were going to make it across and they didn't. Or, like, you never know if it was they were screaming each other's name or they just completely lost themselves as soon as they crossed or as soon as they went in.
I don't know about anybody else, but like the imagery of like the water soaked diaper kind of made me like that really like sank, like made my heart sink.
Yeah, because like whenever you take care of kids and like I don't know, it's like you have to like check your diaper always. You have to make sure that it's not like heavy because like, or if not, they'll like you have to like care that they won't how do you say rosar in English?
Like rash.
Yeah, so that they won't get a rash or whatever. But like at that moment, it's all soaked and everything. Nobody cares. Like nobody's like taking care of the baby anymore because it's no longer baby. There's no baby.
And the sentence about no bubbles rose from their breath in the mud, light light as the iridescent circles of soap that would fascinate a 2-year-old.
Yeah. I guess just Nil, do you want to, instead of asking a question, do you want to like wrap up our conversation of this? Like give us a conclusion?
I just like that was a good poem. It was a dense one. If anybody else wants to read it twice. If you like have any thoughts on it that you'd like to share with us, probably like comment it down below the video or like in one of our posts. Or yeah, if you want to just like share a poem with us at any point that you want us to talk about, go ahead and drop it in the ESB-MACC Caminos Instagram DMs if you would like to. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Have a nice day.
Yes, thank you so much.
I am the change because I care about my future as a 15-year-old Hispanic woman who doesn't have the right to vote yet. And I care about the futures of other marginalized groups and those who don't have the right to vote yet, whether it's because they're undocumented, underage, or in prison. And I'm the change because I'm not a bystander. And when I see something done that isn't right, I stand up for what I believe in and I do something about it.
I am the change because I believe that our united voices will overpower the strong forces of institutional oppression.
My name is Elizabeth Diaz, and I am the change because I care about what's happening around the world, and I am taking the actions to educate myself and try and become someone who impacts our community for the better.
Hello, my name is Kiona. I'm a caminante, and I am the change because I'm an artist who does not tolerate the reality of today. So I live to change it through my art and the messages that I spread.
Me llamo Martín Espada y yo soy el cambio porque lucho por mi comunidad en cada manera que puedo. En las palabras de César Chávez, sí se puede.
My name is Marina, and I'm the change because I strive to make this world better for everyone in it, and I will support those in need of support.
Hello guys, how are you? Welcome to Caminos Art Club. We're gonna do something interesting. As always, we're gonna have fun painting with watercolors. Okay, are you ready to start, guys?
I'd like to say Nil Marie and Itzel. Can I join the pink hair club now?
Oh, period.
No.
Mine was supposed to be purple.
I bleached it and dyed it over the weekend. And
Marie's just offended. She's
like already like.
Well, then it's not pink. It's just light red.
That's basically pink.
I bleached it. No.
Red plus white.
I bleached it and then I dyed it pink.
Guys, look at him. Aww. He's so pretty.
Okay, guys, as a little introduction to this technique, what is watercolor about? Watercolor is the technique. It's not the material. There is different types of watercolor. Watercolor could be in pencil. Watercolor could be like your palette with different, the different solid colors. If you're gonna use green, for example, you can add a drop of water to that green, but that color, you're gonna add to your water. Your water is gonna be in the container, in your container. You're gonna add around five drops of water, and we're gonna paint with that. One of the characteristics of this technique is that we paint with layers. We start with the lightest tone, okay, and gradually we're gonna add more, dark tones. That's very interesting about watercolor. It must be, watery, not thick, okay. If it's thick, you are painting in different technique that we call wash. This is pencil. This is a pencil. I'm gonna do it a little bit darker for you guys. We're gonna work with first oval, okay? little oval here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Oh my god, wow.
Wait. When did you do that? Wait.
I'm already lost.
I know. We all are.
Yeah, it's a no for me. I think we're all lost.
Are you like squares? Like squares? Wrong, you know,
Drawing the
wrong
circles.
into the circle.
Okay. Let's do this.
Actually, guys, we're gonna, no worries. You won't color it. We're gonna add just color, and we're gonna draw or paint. We're gonna paint the effect of rose. It's not a perfect rose. We're gonna do it based just in the color, not in the shape, because the rose is the shape of the rose is complex. Great. We're gonna start painting. Why not? We can start with orange or roses. The area, that area with this flat.
It's just like a light wash layer.
You can leave some spaces with no paint, like here. Look.
Oh.
With no color. Why? Because we are suggesting highlights, like spots of light. Guys, you have to be spontaneous. This is kind of an expressive project. I'm adding yellow to the leaves. You're gonna add like lines, irregular. We're gonna make this green. Green. We're gonna add green to, pretty watery green.
Oh. Mine looks nothing like that then.
Oh my god.
No worries, you don't have to do something like with precision or doing some outlines. You can add some brush strokes, like check marks, pretty fast. Look, like this.
You sound like Sharpay when she was doing that thing.
Little branches, not all of them are green. Sometimes we call it brown or burn shadow. Like this.
I love giving weird names to colors because then people they'll believe me sometimes. Like I have so many friends who do like math and science stuff, and they're just like, it's blue, but okay.
Mine is not even close to looking like that. That's sad.
Look, they said you're gonna add like this little sticks and some part of the leaf. It could be, some part of the leaf could have like a little brown. You can add more green if you like.
Harriet, I love you, but you can't walk on my painting! What?
Hero only
I'm
likes.
glad I have a dog.
He likes to try and roll in the charcoal.
Oh.
And so I had to give him a bath one night because he turned black after rolling around on my charcoal.
He added a lot more green than I did. Does that mean I have to redo it?
Yes. I'm just kidding. You don't have to redo it.
Well, now I'm doing it.
Oh.
Now, guys, the roses, it's not, like just a straight stamps or branches. You can add like irregular or organic lines. Look.
I'm lost. What did you do now?
He's adding more branches
I don't want to add more.
that aren't straight lines.
this is considered that this is our background, guys. Next step is red. Very
red, yes.
Yes, intensity. Yes.
Does this look bad?
Add intensity to our roses.
Can someone look at mine?
I like
How
yours,
does it look
Amy.
like?
I like yours.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't like mine on those.
I
It's very,
feel
like,
you're right.
in the middle.
This. Clean your brush and add like a little coat of just water to your rose. Just a few rose strokes. And then you can do this. Look. So you can see this rose. Before it's dry, I can add with wet brush. I can spread out. I can take the color from the outline and I can add it to the rest of the areas that I consider is darker.
Yeah, no.
Oh, hey, this is actually like making my piece way better.
It never looks great when we start with the project with watercolor, because gradually you're gonna add more contrast, more color, more intensity, and then you can see the effect. You can see, in this case, the rose. But look how I'm doing it, just free brush strokes. You know, this brush stroke is gonna make that effect of texture.
I like made it really pretty. Like,
every time you can add more color to the water, and you can add that tone directly, you know, to the darkest areas. The darkest tone of green. Look.
I love how Amy, when she jokes around, she says it like so serious, and she's like, haha, I'm just joking.
Because I have a very serious face. I can't laugh in between it because then I feel like that ruins the joke.
I would say everything, guys.
It's going.
no, it's occurring.
Look,
Something's happening.
when the base is dry, when this colors is dry, you can add more like brown, some branches. You will see, you know, more. You know, you can improve that, adding some dark areas.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust the brown anymore because it messed it up the first time.
I just made blue, little blue. Why? Because I can add a little contrast. You know, in the deepest areas of the, the rose. Just be gentle. You don't have to add a bunch of blue. Just a little touches to suggest deep areas. As you can see, guys, are just brush strokes, every time darker, and there is no shapes, perfect shapes. You suggest that textures, you suggest the petals, just with a few brush strokes with different with different tone of color. You know, one of the most important pieces of art in the world, if you watch it here, you're gonna see just wild brush strokes. The impressionists, the expressionists, all that movements, all that styles are made with this type of, expressive way to paint. It's very interesting because we always want to draw outlines. We always want to do it perfect. but there is no perfection. It's just expressivity. You can't do something just with that in that order. In case of the watercolor, you can start, with the lightest tone, and little by little you're gonna add more brush strokes. Remember, is when you paint exactly as is every petal, you are painting the concept of the rose, not a rose. Because when you see a bucket of roses, or I don't know, a bunch of roses in a vase in your table, you never see, oh, look at that petals. No, you see just a bunch of textures, okay, effects. Because the difference of color, no, because the outlines never exist in the nature, okay, just in cartoons, just in drawings, but everything is just effect of color. Oh, good, that's great, Ethan. Excellent.
I can't really see it because
you did it. That's great. Okay.
Can everybody see it?
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, that's pretty.
Hey guys,
How you people do this?
I'm gonna be
Hold
serious.
up, I can't see them.
That's not fair, Mari and Aren and Ethan. I'm the instructor.
Oh wow.
Hey, come on.
Oh wow.
Oh, I like yours.
Yeah, I'm not
It
gonna
looks
show
good from
mine,
a
I'm
ways
sorry.
away, but it doesn't look good really close up. I put fingerprints on mine.
That's cool.
That's
I
cool.
sat there and it went like
That's
this with my
I
fingers.
really love your projects, guys.
Why doesn't mine look like that?
What is
Uh,
it? Let's see.
Show us yours, Coral.
Let's show us. It looks great.
No, that's so pretty.
Lying to me, it's okay.
It's very
No, we're serious. That looks so good.
expressive.
Look, hold out. Look, I'll motivate you. Look, I'll show mine.
That looks so cool.
Coral, where are you?
See, yours is better.
Elizabeth, guys, you
Coral,
itself. Show us yours.
Coral, can see again.
Oh my goodness, good.
Ooh, pretty.
Okay, if you want to add some contrast, you can add to the background instead of white. Just to add more color to the white, you can add like a brown.
This is mine.
I actually like
You don't see
Coral
mine?
so much. It feels like it has so much expression.
I like yours.
Whoa, Amy, that's so pretty.
I don't like it. I feel like I need to add more detail.
Amy,
But I kind of like it.
You can see, the time, but thank you very much. The official.
She's trying to jump on the watercolor.
Conclusion. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Today we did something not easy at all, because to paint something, this project is very complex and organic. There is a lot of elements in this project. Every petal, every stem or branch or leaf need different layers. In an hour we did it, and you did it great. Okay, congratulations, guys. Thank you very much, and see you in the next
Art club.
and Vamonos and Vamonos.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, take care, guys.
Bye.
Have a good day. The intro, please. The cue.
Go.
Vamonos.
We were waiting.
All right, I'm coming. No one
Oh
talk.
my gosh, shut up.
I'm talking right now. Hey guys, this is me talking. No one else is talking right now because I'm showing you the hairstyle, Steve, because I'm talking right now.
I'm gonna start talking on purpose during those just to annoy everyone.
I hate you.
Really quickly, could somebody do the intro to this episode? I can just edit it in.
I can do it. Let's go.
Did you already do one?
Guys,
though?
welcome
Steve
back.
has done them like 3 times in a row.
You want to start? I will cancel you.
You know what? Like, wait,
Oh, who's gonna do
are
it?
we supposed to have one, like a different one for each person?
I know, I would do it. Never mind.
By this point, I've already been like,
Then I want one. I want one. Hi guys, welcome to the art club. we're gonna be painting
I think
flowers.
Paolo already
It's
did
gonna
one
be-
too, though.
Yeah, Paolo, you already did
I
one
know,
too,
but
so.
so does Steve. Like, if
do
we're
it.
allowed to do reading each, then
Let
I
Amy
I
do
want
it.
to volunteer.
Let Amy do
Okay,
it.
Amy, go ahead.
Tribute.